Welcome to the CXR channel, our premier podcast for talent acquisition and talent management. Listen in as the CXR community discusses a wide range of topics focused on attracting, engaging, and retaining the best talent. We're glad you're here.
Welcome everybody to another Career Crossroads podcast. I am excited to have with us our guest today, whom we've known for a little while, and we're getting to know a little bit better every time we connect. And I'm loving this relationship. John Graham, welcome to the show.
Hey, Chris, thanks for having me. Awesome to be here.
Good stuff. Well, we're really grateful for you to take some time out and join. You are in the wonderful city of Los Angeles, yes?
Yes, sunshine 95.9% of the year. Yes.
Nice. Well, I'm in Austin, where it's 95.9 degrees. Almost
99.9% of the time. Look at that.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
So John, happy birthday.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, another run around the sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well done.
27 feels good, man. 27 feels good.
Oh man, I remember 27.
We'll believe that lie. That's what I tell myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Again. Is that what it is?
There you go. That's how I feel this morning. Yeah.
So, John, before we jump in, because I really want to talk a little bit about this book and what you've put together, this Plantation book, which I'm really enjoying. Okay. Can you give, for folks who don't know John Graham, can you give us a sort of an escalator pitch? Who is John, and why do we care what John has to say?
Yeah. Well, I've never done an escalator pitch. I can be slower with this, right?
Yeah. You get a little bit longer than a quick ride.
A little bit longer. Okay. So I'm a vice president of global employer brand diversity and culture for Shaker Recruitment Marketing. Other than that being too long of a title to fit on a business card, my remit is helping our clients build truly diverse and inclusive employer brands from the ground up. Through a very new and cutting edge approach that we've called the lived experience based approach to employer brand and DEI, where we blend employer brand and diversity, equity, inclusion into our approach of helping clients articulate their culture and also improve their culture to match the marketing. So yeah. I am a historian, also the author of a best-selling book, Plantation Theory, The Black Professional Struggle Between Freedom and Security, father of two, husband of one, friend of many. So
I may absolutely steal that shamelessly.
Hey, it's for you and everyone else to enjoy. Indeed.
You're a giver, John. That's what you are. Yeah.
I am. And I like receiving a little bit too. It balances out. But yes, I think the value given is always the best way to go.
So give us the run through of your book, because I want to talk a little bit about, there you go. I want to talk a little bit about what I've read so far. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
And I'm uncomfortable.
Yes.
I'll be honest.
Good.
But give us sort of the précis on what the book's about. And then I want to know why the heck you felt like it needed to be said now and by you and in this way.
Yeah, great question. So Plantation Theory is the culmination of not only my own professional career, but the lived experiences of colleagues, family members. It's a historical record as much as it is a memoir, right? It's meant to connect dots between history and the modern day lived experiences and realities of Black folks in corporate spaces. But it really came to me to write the book in the weeks. I'd started writing it before George Floyd's murder. And it was a completely different title, but the chapter outline was very similar. And so I toyed with it, started the introduction, the outline, and so forth, but I just sort of put it down for a bit. And then, George Floyd was killed. And in those weeks thereafter, a lot of dialogue was happening that hadn't happened before, right? Historically, and especially in corporate spaces. And hearing all of the stories, looking at the allies' position and really starting their educational journey, I started to write articles on LinkedIn called the Allyship Series, which got a lot of attention. opened a lot of people's eyes. I got a lot of feedback that was, positive. But for me, it felt like I hadn't written a complete thought, right? I wanted to sort of, instead of that loop of feeding the beast of blogging, I wanted to sort of just stop and collect the thoughts and then write a complete thought. And, within about 7 months, I finished Plantation Theory. So yeah. So that's the origin. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really curious. So I am working my way through. I'm almost to the end of the first chapter, which is titled the term code switching, which
correct.
I have, and I want to talk about this a little bit because I have experienced and seen that, and I've even discussed that with colleagues and friends, but I didn't know that I didn't know it had a term. I didn't know it had a name.
That's right.
Yeah.
Code switching, it's literally code or language and switching, right? Alternating back and forth between different language. So it's something that everyone does, interestingly enough. It might be, the language, it might be the lexicon, it might be the tone or vocal pitch, it might be, how you dress. It could be class-based, right? And how you alter yourself when you're moving in between different class situations. So, we all do it to an extent. The difference is when it's a requirement for access or acceptability, or to reduce threat perception, honestly. And so we talk about that in the opening chapter about a conversation with my daughter at 7 years old.
Which was a gut punch, because I have 2 daughters. They're grown now. They're adults. Yeah. And kids ask some uncomfortable questions, but that was that was a kick in the guts.
My wife had she had no words. She immediately was like, you got to answer, because I don't. And it's something that I don't think you're ever prepared to hear your child ask you, because it's done at such an unconscious level. And to have to explain that to her at 7, and my son as well. I mean, the conversations we had to have the last year alone, for both of our children in the wake of George Floyd's murder and the ensuing, summer of social justice, or social unrest, I should say, are conversations that you'll have to have, but you're never prepared to have them, especially at the ages of 9 and 7, respectively, at that time.
Yeah, and then for those who haven't had the pleasure of reading the book yet, the question that gets asked is, why does mommy talk differently on the phone sometimes?
When she calls the school or when she calls the doctor,
Yeah, but she has to do that code switch, and your kids have seen it a dozen times before they ask about it.
That's right. They're threat. They can tell something about mommy is different, or something about daddy is different when they, are doing these things or when they're in these places. And, that natural curiosity of children, right? No filter, no veil of politeness has, altered them yet.
Well, so. They're in what I thought was kind of interesting too, is that they're in a safe space to talk about something that they don't know is uncomfortable yet. But I thought that was a really interesting, sort of a neat perspective of like, well, the kid is feeling they're at home in a comfortable place, and now they've seen something uncomfortable and they want to ask about it, which I also thought was a nice segue into some of the other content in the chapter.
Yeah. Thank you for that. No, you're absolutely right. And we keep that environment of curiosity alive, especially as they engage with different mediums, to see different things in the world that they have questions about. And so we keep that door open, right, for some of the most uncomfortable things you can think of.
Well, what I had not tied it to, and one of the big aha moments for me, was the level of discomfort or stress on the body that it must cause to be pretending, right? Or sort of just reconfiguring your body language, or your, not just your dress, but your behavior, and to have to do that all day long, the toll that must take on the human body.
I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. It's a reality that I think a lot of Black folks live, again, subconsciously, unconsciously, but it is a mental drain, right? Because you have to constantly be aware, right? Aware of your surroundings, aware of the power dynamics, the the different racial realities that are happening constantly, right? And knowing how to switch between, navigate between. And it's like, you're bilingual, right? But it's also, there's a physical alteration, to your point, that has to occur, that becomes so automatic you don't realize it, but it expends a lot of energy. And oh, by the way, you still have to be excellent at your job, right? Yeah. There's that part too. That's not the only thing you have to do, right? So yes, it is an added burden or stress of being in these environments on a regular basis. But this is what we do.
John, it's great stuff. I love it. We're going to see you on. You're going to join us on our book club.
Absolutely.
We've got that coming up. It's October 8th. It's open to anybody. They can dial in. They can be part of it. We'll do it live. And if you want more information about how to do that, it's at cxr.work/books, plural. That'll get you in there and get you registered. John, if there's one thing, even if they can't show up at the book club and ask you a million questions, if there's one thing you'd like everybody, regardless of who's reading the book, if you'd like everybody to take away from the book, what would it be?
Yeah, really good question. The thing that I encourage people to really take away from this book is to start asking better questions. I present this book even in the preface that this is not a solutions book, right? This is meant to drive you to asking better questions. And when you get to the end, there's a payoff there. But at the end of the day, if we're looking to find better solutions, it has to start with better questions, and questions that aren't being asked right now. So that is my takeaway.
I love it. Well done. Well, I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to get through it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the 8th when we book club and the Q&A.
I look forward to it. I'm excited. It's going to be a really good conversation. So enjoy the read.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, John.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the CXR channel. Please subscribe to CXR on your favorite podcast resource and leave us a review while you're at it. Learn more about CXR at our website, cxr.works, facebook.com and twitter.com/careercrossroads, and on Instagram at careerxroads. We'll catch you next time.